Hey gang, welcome back to the channel. Today is a no squats leg day and I'm calling this one the busy person session. It's perfect if you can't split leg days across two appointments. We're going to hit quads, hamstrings, glutes and calves with machine work, unilateral training and glute specific finishers, all without a single traditional squat. Why no squats? Squats are great, but they are not the only way to build a powerful lower body. If you have knee sensitivity or you're rehabbing an injury just like me, or simply want targeted isolation and heavy loading without axial compression, this routine is ideal. We'll prioritize single leg control, hip hinge strength and glute activation so you get strength, size and stability while protecting your joints. Today I'll explain why each move works, exactly how to do it with clean form, how to progress safely, and how to judge failure so you can work hard but smart. Stick with me, focus on quality reps, and you'll leave this session stronger and more balanced. Start on the treadmill, set an incline between 6 to 10%, and walk at a brisk pace for about 2 minutes. Keep your posture tall, shoulders back, and take controlled, deliberate steps. The incline wakes up your glutes and hamstrings more than a flat walk. You feel your posterior chain turning on. Now switch to walking backwards on the incline for about 1 minute or 2 minutes. This shifts the emphasis to your quads in a controlled way, helps proprioception, and warms up the knee extensors without heavy loading. Small steps, soft landing through the midfoot, eyes forward or glance at the side handle, and keep your torso upright. Now we're doing dynamic stretches because it is so important to warm up properly. These stretches activate the specific joints and muscle groups you're about to train so you can lift stronger and reduce the risk of injury. We're starting with hip circles. These open up your hip joints and improve mobility, which is crucial for leg presses, extensions, and any movements that demands hip stability. Next is the leg swings, which gets your hamstrings and hip flexors ready, making it easier to move with control and power during lifts. The side-to-side stretch opens up your torso and obliques while also loosening the hips, giving you better range of motion for compound lifts. So due to my knee injury, therefore bad knees, I can't go as deep and low as I should. So this is the range of movements that I can do for the stretch. But you should go deeper, you can go as low as possible to get the stretch in proper. Moving on to calf raises. Strong, warm calves support your knees and ankles during leg presses, RDLs, and even hip thrusts. Finally, we finish with walking side to side. This wakes up your glutes and quads, which are the powerhouse muscles for most lower body exercises. Alright, short rest here, and we'll start with quad isolation at the leg extension machine. Leg extensions are a pure quad isolation, great for finishing or pre-exhausting the quads. I start light and play the control game, one leg at a time, first to eliminate compensation and correct imbalances. To sit tall, adjust pad to sit just above the ankle, hips pinned to the seat, back neutral. Exhale as you extend. Squeeze at the top for a 1 second hold. Inhale on the return for a 2 second controlled eccentric. 1 up, 2 down for control. Make sure you're sitting back fully on the seat, holding the handles for support and keeping your back flat against the pad. Lift with control. Don't swing or use momentum, because that's how you keep the tension on your quads. A common mistake is rocking in the hip. Don't move your torso. Just lock the hips in. At the end of the last rep, hold the extension at the top for about 10 seconds or less. This static hold really pushes your quads to their limit, builds endurance and deepens that mind-muscle connection. You feel the burn, but that's exactly where the growth happens. Now do the other leg. This finds weak points. Be honest with yourself if one side is less explosive. After single leg warm up, increase the weight moderately and move to both legs. Still controlled. Full range, squeeze at the top. Don't hyperextend the knee. Aim for sets in the 10 to 15 rep range, but because the session is about going to failure, push to the point where your last rep is clean but challenging. How you know you're at failure? Your form starts to break, the range shortens, hips rock, or you can't finish the concentric with control. Stop there, rest and breathe. Now shake it out, breathe. Next up, we're doing leg press with a quad dominant foot placement. Okay, reset the weight on the leg press so that you can start with just the machine to get your form first before lifting with weights. Set your feet low on the platform, bias the quads. Leg press is brilliant for loading the quads without an axial spine load. Foot placement lower on the platform and about hip width will hit the quads more. A higher stance hits glutes and hamstrings. Keep your knees tracking over your toes. Don't let them cave in. Lower slowly, 2 seconds down, until the knees form about a 90 degrees angle or where you have full control. Push through the heels and mid-foot to extend. Now I follow the same pattern. Light single leg sets first for balance and neuromuscular control, then both legs heavier. Single leg presses expose asymmetries and build unilateral strength that helps everything else. Keep a neutral spine against the back pad. Don't let your lower back round at the bottom. If your hips lift, the weight is too heavy or range too deep, the reps should be controlled. Push until form breaks and that's your failure marker. Rest long enough to recover explosiveness for your next heavy sets. Nice work. Now we switch to hamstring dominance, starting with Romanian deadlifts. Grab a bar or dumbbell, set feet hip width while targeting the hamstrings and glutes now. Romanian deadlifts are a posterior chain staple. They build the hamstrings, glutes and teach hinge partnering that protects your lower back. Some key cues: soft knees, hips drive backward first, chest proud, neutral spine. Feel the stretch in your hamstrings as you lower. Keep the bar or dumbbells close to your legs. Imagine sliding them down your thighs. Tempo you can use: 2 to 3 seconds down, strong 1 second squeeze up. Inhale on descent, exhale as you stand. Some common errors include rounding the lower back or bending the knees into a squat. If that happens, reduce range and focus on hip hinge. If the hamstrings feels weak, do lighter sets, higher volume to build connection. Because this session emphasizes failure, when you get near the end, stop the set the instant your hips begin to shift or lumbar flexion appears. That's form breaking. Recovery here is important because you'll need it for hamstring curls next. Lying hamstring curls are an isolation movement to finish and fully fatigue the hamstrings. I'm using dumbbells for this, but you can use the hamstring curls machine. Now to do this, you're going to need a yoga mat and dumbbell. Lay on the mat with your hips flat and the dumbbells between your feet. Now curl the heels towards the glutes, squeeze at the top, lower slowly. Don't let the hips rise. If your hips start to lift, lower the weights. Keep the tension through the hamstrings, don't bounce. Aim to push to failure. When you can no longer achieve full range with control, that set is done. If you want tempo variety, try a slow eccentric for 3 seconds to increase tension. Great, now the hamstrings are cooked. 60 seconds rest here, and we move into the cable area for glutes walk with kickbacks and side kick supersets. For the cable kickbacks, you're going to need ankle straps which you will attach to your ankle like the name suggests. After attaching it to your ankle, you will attach it to the cable machine. Cable kickbacks are pure glute maximus work. Push the heel straight back, fully extend the hip and squeeze the glutes at the top. Your spine should be neutral, hinge slightly from the hips but keep the torso stable. Drive through the heel rather than the knee. After a set of straight back kickbacks, immediately superset into side kicks to target the glute medius. That's the muscle that sculpts the side of the hip and stabilizes your pelvis. Why superset? Hitting different glute heads back to back creates metabolic stress and complete glute fatigue, the key to growth and improved shape. Perform each leg for 10 reps or until form fatigue. When you feel the knee or low back compensating, switch legs. If you need modification, decrease the range or weight and focus on the contraction. Now we're moving to one of my favorites, crab walks. Crab walks or banded lateral walks are a glutes medius and outer thigh annihilator. Place a mini band above the knees or at ankles, sink into a slight hinge, tension the band, and step side to side. Keep your toes facing forward, the knees tracking over toes, chest upright. Keep steady small steps until you literally cannot maintain resistance and your steps become sloppy. That's your signal to stop. Crab walks are excellent for hip stability, which helps every squat alternative and prevents knee valgus during other lifts. Get that rest in before moving into the next set or the next workout. And we're going to hit the final glute builder, the hip thrust, with the 10-10-10 method. What's the 10-10-10 method, you ask? That's 10 normal full thrusts with full range and squeeze, 10 short pulses at the top, small controlled pulses, we call this casts, and finish with a 10-second isometric hold at the top, squeezing as hard as possible. You're going to need a bench, bar pad, your band, and the barbell. Place your upper back on the bench, bar pad over the hips, and the feet planted hip width, chin tucked slightly. Drive through heels, not toes. At the top, squeeze the glutes hard, and while pulsing, keep the hips immobile, tension constant. The hold at the end is where you maximize time under tension. Breathe steadily but forceful. Exhale on the squeeze. A common error is overarching the lower back. Keep the ribs down and core braced. Excellent work here, we're almost done. Time to flush and cool with a short bike spin. Hop on a bike for a light 2-minute spin to help clear metabolic waste and lower heart rate. Keep the resistance light. This is active recovery. Take deep breaths and let your muscles relax into the movement. Use this time to notice which muscle groups burn the most today. That's feedback for your next session. Do make sure to stretch after this workout. finish with standing hamstring stretch, glute stretch, and hip flexor lunge stretch. Hold for 20 to 30 seconds, breathe into the stretch, don't force it. I'm saying this because I forgot to film my stretches, so make sure to stretch after the workouts. And that's the no squat leg day, a full efficient session for busy people who want serious results without traditional squats. If you push to failure on the machines and control the hinges, you've trained strength, hypertrophy, and stability all in one session. Like and subscribe if you want more detailed progression plans and beginner options. Rest well, hydrate, and I will see you in the next workout. Bye.